was home when you left. You're right. Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left. You're right. And that's the reason you left. You're right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson talk show. Today is January the 28th, the 28th day in the new year. What can we expect? I prepared my lesson. It's deep, and we must get into it. Let me put my topics up. My topics for today's lesson are: 1. Understanding white America, a significant study for all Americans. 2. Who are Liberians, dual citizenship, etc. 3. Do Liberia's political parties know politics? Let's get into my lesson. My first topic is Understanding America, a significant study of all Americans. This topic is very important because if you study America's history and democracy in America, you will know that Americans did not write about their system. They did not document the trends of democracy in America. It was a Frenchman who did it, called de Tocqueville, or de Tocqueville, or whatever it is. I did that in high school, in college. So he was the one, an outsider, looking into American society, was able to document and make sense of what the system of democracy of America is. So from this man, we have a documentation of things that American people didn't pay attention to themselves, that an outsider did for us. And so too is understanding white America being done by an African from Liberia, Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson, to give young Americans, my lesson for young people, an understanding of your own country, and to help my people in Liberia understand why it is significant that when we come to America, we work with African Americans, and African Americans understand why it is significant to their growth, their progress and advancement in white America to connect with Africa. Not to be funny, to make fun of Africans, to understand that your lifeline and your freedom and security rests on your alignment with Africa. So too is it for young white American children. You can't be like your fathers. You cannot be like Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Mark Rubio. Don't even try to be like Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is a total wreck and disgrace to the American people. You cannot have a leader who flip-flops. He is not conscious of who he is. And a man like that is dangerous not only to our country, to his own family. So let's forget about Lindsey Graham. That's why I don't even mention him when I'm talking about traitors. He's beyond traitor. He's beyond traitor. He's a flip-flopper. He doesn't know whether he's here nor neither there. So that's why I'm pissed off with white Americans who want to have power in America. And they know the trend of racism, race supremacy, and hatred in America has been the foundation of the Republican Party. Not because the Lincoln Party, or I ain't got time for all that kind of thing. A party is a party. Lincoln ain't got no party. Reagan ain't got no party. Reagan was just as bad. Lincoln was the only one whose conscience was impacted by what he saw in his society. He was the only leader of profound consciousness of the plight of all people in the United States of America. That's why he died, for his ideal to liberate the slaves, to pursue a different path for Americans, white and black. It cost him his life. It cost him his life. So after that happened, all the American leaders had to practice deception in their ideals to help black people. So let me break white society down with you. When America was founded, the British first came here. When the army came with Christopher Columbus and all those people, they kept coming. After Christopher Columbus found the wealth, the gold and things, and sent it back, they started coming more. It spread all through Europe. They started coming more. But one thing they understood was, in Britain and some of those European countries, there were bad criminals. People like Robin Hood in the old days, and all these people who were stealing from the rich, committing crimes, killing people. They had real bandits because the monarchy was a plague on the people. It still is. Who you think supporting Queen Elizabeth and all the people who and William and all the people who not doing nothing, just running around playing with women and wasting our money? Who you think paying for that? My African people. We've been paying for it since the 1600s. So when they started, they could not control the Indians, the Native Americans. They couldn't control them. So they had no means of running the new world by themselves. And secondly, they recognized that, hey, we can save ourselves in Britain and Europe problems by sending all the white criminals to the new world. The army is there. They can carry their guns and things. And if they are so generous to our leadership and power in our own country, they should be able to live in a new world where there's no law, where they can go there and do anything they want to do and survive. So send them. So they started sending all the white criminals in Britain and Europe to the new world, which is today America. So while they were sending them here, they noticed that they became helpful to the crown in ridding America of Indians who posed a threat to the rich landowners of Britain, owning land in the New World. Because the masses of the British people were not here, so they couldn't see the advantages to land ownership, to the wealth and progress of the land, finding diamond and gold. So they had to develop a new system where the king and queen would not be involved in the enrichment of individuals. That's why America's system became different from Britain. Because when they came here, they were outlaws. Yes, the government was here, but the government wasn't here for occupation of America. It was just here to get the wealth, join with the Britain, with the Indians, get what they could, and take it back to Britain. But when they started sending the criminals to America, and these guys started combining and fighting and forming gangs and groups and fighting the Indians, and were killing some of them, taking their land and their property and their wealth, their women, everything. The British foreigner, it was convenient for them. The rich people who knew about the new world, foreigner, it was good for them. So that's why you have Prince George's County, Prince Lord, all these counties like that in Maryland, all the people, places. Because those were the British people really exerted their control and power. The lords, that were their own land. So they started with those people, but they own land everywhere, up north and all. So here were these outlaws helping the British eliminate the Indians and move them off their lands and put them into reservations and sharing power with the government. So you see that we're the first group of white people that came here. And today, they form the Republican parties, who are the landowners, the rich. Where do you think Mitch McConnell get $100 million from and all the $1 million? Where do you think these Republicans get that money from? They are the landowners. And as landowners, they use the criminal. There were wicked elements in Britain. So they had to come to an agreement among themselves. The British will get their share, but they must not touch the landowners. They're not in Britain no more. The outlaws, they're not in Britain no more. So whatever they take, they don't want the British coming and taking this, say it's for the monarchy. No. So that was the agreement between the lords and the barons who came and started owning land in America, and the outlaws who had protected their land and their wealth and killed the Indians and helped to subdue them with the army. So they became the Republicans because all of them had to bind together to protect their interests in the new world. And in protecting their interests, they had the army behind them from the British Army. They had the weapons, they had the guns and everything. So they used the criminals who were from that country and killing off the Indians themselves to take their wealth and their land and everything without justice, without law or anything. They were using them. So they became the weapons of the barons against foreign and domestic enemies of the interests of the British, the lords, and all the barons coming to America, owning land. So what they did was, they formed this alliance. And the lords and barons will not bring the British foolishness here to stop the individual progress of these gangs and bring it under the crown. And that's what was happening. But the crown still wanted to exert control over the gangs. Then you had the other group coming to America. The group like the Puritans, religious groups coming to live religious freedom. Because in America, in Britain, everything was under the crown. The church, religion, everything was under the crown. Like it is today, you have the Anglican church and all these things controlling the British Empire. That's the church of the crown. So all these people wanted religious freedom. The Puritans and all these other people were seeking religious freedom from the crown, from the Anglican church. They wanted their freedom to believe in Christianity the way they wanted to believe it, the way they wanted to practice this faith, void of politics, void of the world. So they came too. In coming to the new world, they needed protection. The Indians didn't care. They didn't care whether they were religious or Puritan. Who are Puritans to the Indians? They didn't care. You coming to take their land. You one of the people. They don't care whether you bring in turkey, a boat, a ship. They see you as one of the white people who came first, the criminals who've been killing them to take their land. So they're coming to drive you off. The Puritans were not warriors. They didn't believe in fighting. Then secondly, you have families in America who are being offered land. People were being offered land to come to the New World, to populate this spot. So the more that come, the more they will be able to bond together and get the land from the Indians. So most of the people came were families, the wagon trains and all of that, the Donner family who died in the snow and all of that. All of them were those kind of people, peaceful people just coming to look for land, to settle and farm and do their things. But they didn't know these lands were taken away from people who had been here for centuries, the Indians. So they come, they won't take the land. Who's going to give them the land? Only the military and the criminals. The criminals, they didn't want farm. They didn't care about farming or anything. They were marauding groups, robbing people, stealing their property, coming into town, drinking, getting drunk, going out, robbing people with their gold, and they were cutthroats. So the Indians were scared of them. The settlers were scared of them. Everybody was scared of these people because they were blood-sucking, ruthless people. So you had a government on one side with the power and the support and control of these ruthless people. Then you had the peaceful people coming. And with the people were people who wanted to buy land, just get away and get free, or just leave Britain and come to the New World, to a different world, to explore, to seek their wealth and fortune. You had gold diggers, you had all these people. They weren't coming to fight. They were coming to seek their opportunities. But so doing, they needed protection. So they needed the army. And the army needed the ruthless people to help them, because they had soldiers and the country was big. The military couldn't cover the whole country. So with those areas they couldn't cover, they had the cutthroats and the ruthless and bandits and things there getting rid of the Indians. So as long as they weren't bothering the peace and safety of the crown or the barons and their properties, they didn't care what they did to the Indians, what they did to maintain their land and peace and happiness. So it was a shared relationship. Now you had this other group coming who were peaceful and families and just wanted to settle and make a living. But the land wasn't theirs. And this land was being sold to them in England by the government and criminals who didn't own the land, but wanted to make a fortune selling land that they didn't own. So when these people thinking that they own the land and they come into the New World, they found out that they didn't have protection. One, the criminals didn't care who they robbed. They didn't care who they raped. They didn't care who they stole from. So with the newcomers coming, they were just as much victims to the marauding and gangs and bandits that were supported by the government. And you notice watch the TV shows, watch all the cowboy shows. Most of the scenes are from real life. Excuse me. Most of the scenes are from real life, where they try to depict how the situation was. Tombstone, Arizona, what they call it, what they call that show, Wire App, and with Tombstone, his part of the show. You see how they had a group singing, the religious group singing. Every time they kill the people, they'll be singing and yelling at them, yo, stop it, just do this thing. And those were the kind of people, like the Puritans and the Christians and the peaceful people who just wanted to find peace and land and work the land and make a living and be free from the monarchy, from the suppression of the crown, demanding that they pay taxes and all the things. So they just wanted to come here. And all of them wanted freedom from the monarchy. Even the lords and barons, they wanted to come here and run their own show too. So they needed the people, the bandits and the criminals. And the bandits and criminals didn't care about anybody else. They robbed everybody, anybody who they thought were weak. So you see how they used to come in the towns, take over the whole town, run the casino, drink, shoot up. The same thing they used to do. No different. That's why people, they wire herb and all these lawmakers and what they call him, bad Masterson and what they call him, Daniel Boone and all these tough guys made history in America because they were people who meted out justice. They were people who had some sense of fairness, of law and order. Because the government couldn't cover the whole country. That's why they appointed marshals and deputies and all these things to go, and they were ruthless men too. Some of them were ex-bandits or were current bandits who they pinned badges on. So they went out and ran the town like they wanted to. So that's the problem we're having. So these poor groups had to band together too. So they band together and they wanted to be separate from the Republicans. They wanted their own freedoms, their own dignities, their own pride, their own leadership. That's when they formed the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party was not a warring party. They were still subjected to the Republicans and the bandits who they supported. And the Republicans used the bandits as drivers during the slave era to search for slaves, runaway slaves, to kill indisciplined slaves, to run the farm, beat the peasant with mercilessly. These were people who didn't give a damn what they did. They just did what they had to do to make a living. And they were wicked people from England. And their children were red. The children they had, they were abandoned. They had to either follow their fathers in the gangs and things like that, or be abandoned with their mother because their father was gone marauding and stealing and plundering. So all these people grew up the same way, feeling ownership to America because all their lives, with the support of the government and the lawmakers and the politicians who needed protection from the Indians and the bandits in the other land, and they could use the criminals to do that. The regulators. Watch all the cowboy shows. The regulators. Yes, they didn't care about law. It wasn't until later before law, they found out that they had to meet some law and justice if they wanted these political parties to have interest and advance into a civilized era with all guns and knives, settling problems, making decisions. Because that's how they used to settle problems. You fight. You do draws. And all of that had to stop because they were losing good citizens. You had these bandits who were used to killing people, coming and just challenging anybody to kill them. And once they challenged you, that was the law. You had to do it. There was family pride and all of that. So all of that impacted the Democratic Party. So coming forward to today, you still have the Democratic Party consisting of the religious people, consisting of the families that just want peace, consisting of the other families that just want to come and find a little piece of wealth and development in this country. And with this group, you have the poor minority black, dark Hispanics, and dark races of any other race as the underbelly and the poor of American society. So because we were enslaved and poor, we had to find a group to align with that would give us some sense of dignity, education, pride, and even love. The Republicans weren't going to do that. They were the people that kept making the Jim Crow laws. Every time we take one step forward, they find out that we're getting too free and they're getting too poor. They overturn the law, put us back into slavery. It's been going on even to the day, and that's what they tried to do on January 6, 2021. Because like always, when black people take a step forward and begin to advance and prove that they have intelligence and superior knowledge than some of the white people, they all gang up together in the masses. The same lawless people whose parents were sent to America as criminals, they are the ones. They don't have nothing because they never had nothing. They got everything from the wealthy. And the wealthy have always played on their intelligence like Donald Trump did. He woke them up again with this racism thing because most of them are not doing nothing. Most of them can't work. They have only been bred up to you work with violence and fools and lawlessness. And that's why you go to those small towns, they do anything they want to do, no law, no order. The chief, their cousin, all of them related. The same thing in Liberia. On the tribal side, on the Congo side. It's the same thing. And they did it here too. They're still doing it. Now, every time the poor white get poor and can't find jobs and nothing, they look at the black people as the stooges to wake up again, to be inspired. So they need somebody from the wealthy class to give them the authority to be lawless, to give them the authority to go and vandalize and do anything they want to do, because there's somebody at the top now controlling the military and police who will not enforce the law against them, who will not keep civilization civilized. And that what happened. That what happened on January 6th, because they had a bigot, a criminal, a liar, a deceitful human being, a disgusting human being like Donald Trump, who awakened the underbelly of hate and racism and greed and lawlessness among the Republicans and the marauding groups of white men and white women to attack the Congress of the United States of America. Why? Because they felt the Democrats had gone weak again and were letting a nigger rise as vice president of the United States of America. And that is not what they have been taught. That is not what their fathers have written in books, telling them how to enslave and keep black people at the bottom of the food chain forever. It was shocking to them. And they still can't accept it. They still can't accept it. Because they're getting poor. They're looking at their lives. They're looking at America. They know they can't excel in their minds. They can't rise up. So they're saying, what's in this thing for me? All these niggas look smart now. They're coming up. Look at Rice. Look at people in Georgia, all the thing. This can't be happening in our father's America. Our fathers told us this could never happen. And it's happening. We got to stop it. So this is my lesson on understanding America. If you understand the paradoxical world we're living in, the greed-filled, power-hunger men and women who control the world today, you will know that they're no different from Zogos. That's why they play with our lives. especially white men. They play with our lives. They play with American people's lives too, but you don't know it. You're just coming into the ideal to see how black people suffering. You were never involved in it. And you couldn't believe nothing. Billions of people telling they're suffering, they're not educated, they can't eat, they're depending on a system that don't care about them. You say, but the lie. Why we can go there and eat? And you're not even conscious of the plight of all your citizens. So when Jesus Christ is the God of a nation that depends on him and don't know him, he got to bring it all to the realization of the world that we are all fooled and deceived by a few greedy, useless, damned, deceitful, lying, unconscionable men and their women. And this is what happened on January 6, 2021. My young American children, this is an analysis for you to understand why the Republican Party is weak, why the Republican Party plays double games. They are deceitful. One, they feel that the protection and the salvation for life and civilization still depends on the Republicans to protect them because they are now warriors. They are peaceful, civilized, law-abiding citizens. So whenever they are threatened with violence, they shut up. They change the game. And people that Van Jones and all these people are caught up in that game with, we the Democrats, we the Democrats. No. Black people can never achieve anything in this country until you form your own institutions. Be free of white people. Only accept those who respect you, who see you as part of them and willing to work with you. But you can't be with people who flip-flop. And that's what the Democratic Party has done. Because, one, they don't trust black people. They don't see black people as equals. They see black people as people who they have to save, as people who they have to protect, that they people who have to lead for their own good. And that is a deception that is unrealistic, utopian, and far-fetched. But our black people in America, when you're not aligned with your own people, you say your people were kings and queens in the past, but today you have no alliance with them because that group that controls you tells you they're robbing Africa too. The Africans are dumb. They're controlling you here and they can go in Africa and got the guns and the bombs and they can overpower the Africans and tell them how to live. That is only because Africans do not have a unified belief that is greater. And even if they believe in Christianity or Islam, there's no certainty that the gods will answer them. Because with the gods, they have too many local tribal gods. And it is written that you cannot serve two gods. You must have one. So you see, majority of the Christians in America are Christians, real Christian. Majority of the Republicans are people who think they're Christians. Majority of the evangelists have lost their minds because they are Republicans. And they have settled for racism, race superiority, and all the jargons that will enrich them and their priests and the pastors and all of them. They're not thinking about you, the people. Jesus' people will never follow a liar, will never follow a criminal, will never follow a man who demeans and insults his own people as well as others. Donald Trump got too many vices to a Christian living, a Christian life. And for all the Christians that line with him is demonstrative of their unchristian-like living, the deception of the teachings of Jesus Christ. their inability to live good lives as Christians. But everything with them is greed, greed, greed. Or their leaders have just led them too far astray. And when their leaders sin, they cause them to sin against Jesus Christ. America will be judged. Americans will be judged by Jesus Christ. Young children, don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. Your fathers created a great sin against Jesus Christ. When they joined a liar, a ignoramus, a racist, a race supremacist to destroy what God has given to American people. Just because of hatred, nepotism, race superiority, and the idea that they're greater than any creation that God has put on this earth. That is a falsity. That is a lie and a great deception of Christian America. The time for American white people to understand their destiny is aligned to all Americans is now. If you think you're going to keep on lying, enriching yourself on the back of black people, changing the laws over and over to enslave us, with wicked men like Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and those 100 and something Republicans that stood up to align themselves with one man of hate, lies, treachery, treacherous behavior, and wickedness called Donald Trump. Jesus Christ will judge Christian America. Every one of you Christians that align with him, your punishment is coming in the next 2 to 3 years. And so mute it is. Children, rise. Don't be like your fathers and mother. See the light. Read the Bible. Pray for understanding of yourselves before you can understand others. I have been so blessed by Jesus Christ. My life has been hard, but my eyes have been open to the realization that I cannot serve two gods, that I cannot go to a man to ask to do juju for me to excel. I remember once, this is a true story, I was taken to a juju man, and while he was there with me in the room, everybody had left. The people who took me there did the thing and left, and they left me to hear what the man had to say to me. So in that room was a little boy. And as the man was cutting my card, he was teaching the little boy how to do the fortune thing. That was his tutelage. Under his tutelage. That was his disciple or something like that. So the kid was learning how to read the gamble and everything. So the kid, as he was throwing the gamble, the kid yelled. He said, "Man, you bad." And the man said, his benefactor said, "Shut up. What are you talking about?" And when that little boy said that, that man never told me what that little boy meant. Because everything the man told me, he never told me where I would be in America. But everything they tell you, it depends on their power of giving you what you accept. But when I let boy saw that thing, yeah, I've been questioning that thing forever since I left that room. I said, why didn't this man tell me that my life would be good? Or he telling me, oh, I will pray for you, or this may happen, or that may happen, but you gotta pray, you gotta make sacrifices. And the kid didn't tell me that. As soon as the kid saw the gamble, he yelled. He said, whoa, you're bad. How the kid said. So when I left there, I kept asking myself, why these people? Nobody ever told me that I would be bad. For the kid to yell that when he look at the gamble, it meant something. So I started questioning these people because none of them I went to ever told me what my life would be. Many of them were scared about Jesus Christ. Every juju man I went to, they kept asking, who is Jesus? Who is this Jesus Christ? Where's this Jesus Christ behind you? Because every juju I got, I couldn't keep it. I can't keep it. As soon as I put that thing in my room, demons start coming in my room. I can't sleep. I gotta go waste it. And by wasting it, I pay the punishment for it too. Because when you waste something, you voluntarily take. That is divine. And you destroy it. You pay a price for it. You pay a price for it. Just like when you follow Jesus and you use voodoo, you pay a price for it. So everything I've done, that's why I'm scared to touch all the kind of things. Anything that is not Jesus, I don't want to touch it. Because when some of them are deceptive. Some of them will fool you. Because you will see the things happening in front of you. And if you're spiritual and understand what happened, you will know it. Many white people here are not spiritual. They don't believe in Jesus. They just follow it. They don't believe in nothing. But for us who are spiritual people, who for all our lives have dealt with spiritualism, we know the power of spiritualism. Especially when you have seen it working. And other people say, well, it can't happen. Then everywhere I went, when they tell me things happen, I said, oh man, they would say, you will see. You will see. And they didn't lie to me. But I can't find myself into that thing. No. First of all, I don't want to control anybody's mind. I don't want to control anybody's feelings. I don't want nobody worshiping me as a God. Some people like that thing. Donald Trump love it. No. When you're a Christian, those are not things you admire. When you're a Christian, you know that no man on earth can be God. You know that no man on earth is capable of being God. The only man who could do that is no longer with us. He paid the price for us and left. Jesus could have been a powerful man on earth, man. A man who can change water to wine, raise the dead. Think about it. The Muslims admire him. All religions talk about him. Why isn't he powerful? Why would every religion try to contradict other people's ideas that Jesus Christ is the God? And we in Liberia have been blessed to have Christianity brought to us. Yes, we got our traditional religions that have kept our tribes together for so long, but separate tribes, not unified tribes. Separate tribes. That's what we still can't unify today because everybody do not trust everybody. The tribal lineages are too separate and distinct. And we do not trust each other. So how we trust the Congo people? How we trust Chesson? And we know he's talking something sensible. But our people telling us, no, he's our enemy. And we don't know why. But we believe he is enemy. We see our own people for the past 40 years growing up and suffering under our own leaders. We can't eat. We can't sleep. They're stealing all their money and telling us that the Congo people. Y'all see any Congo people in Liberia running Liberia? You see how deceitful things can be? You are living, educated. You see the very people who say they're leading you, stealing everything you got, no money in the bank. Your children can't go to school, and you know there was a possibility under the Congo people ailing that people went to school. However, all of a sudden, she said she left us $150 million. The government said no, but yet all of them got houses being built overnight. All of them got big cars. All of them sleeping with all the women in the town. All of them traveling all over the world, buying clothes and the best things. And our country has no money. Our children cannot go to school. Our lives are upside down. Then they tell us, blame the Congo people. They were there. Everybody say, other Ellen. Other Ellen, they said, no, they can't. Other Ellen, they will protect her. Because she the one who gave George Weah power. Made him president. Then you hear all the other Liberians talking about how Ellen is so damn influential in the world. Ellen ain't shit. If we catch her and put her in jail, no world will do shit. Only Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson can do that. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that. You ain't reached that level of intelligence to do that. And this is not boasting. This is not putting you down. This is the fact. Look at my record. I'm not involved with none of the people in Liberia. None. From 1980 to this very day, I'm not involved with none of the people. I'm a political scientist. I write. None of my writings support any group in Liberia. My writings support the ideals of my grandfather, unification and integration of all Liberian peoples. And for 7 we took over Liberia. We still following the same system. And that was young Leo Johnson said on British Radio when his interview, we got to start all over. We can't continue to depend on systems that cannot work for our people. We are uneducated. We are massively illiterate. So how we bring computer and all these things into our country when even the literate people in America still don't know how to use computers and networking systems and all these things. But we come and confuse our little high school want to be children. Our whole nation is nothing but little high school people. The college education they're getting in LU, we got to reevaluate it. Our law school students, we got to reevaluate it. Look at our lawyers so they don't know the law. Look at banks, screw the law up. They come from these rich colleges and for corruption and stealing, they will bend everything. Now we come to ourselves. Who are we? Who are we? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, man, you have to listen to this stupid woman. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is dumb. For a woman to put a dumb man like George Weah over our country, she is dumb. She is useless and she has stolen. And she is so dumb, she doesn't know how to hide her theft, her nepotism, her children and family stealing of our wealth that got our bank empty today and put everything on this dummy. You see, you can't blame her. You can't blame her. Because our whole society is immature and young and foolish and are driven by material things. So it's easy to fool our people. And people that Borka and all the people have no sense. Borka sat in a two-party government. For all the years, he never spoke up. He just got positions and positions and positions. That the man who will lead Liberia? Are you people nuts? Ellen Johnson railroaded Borka, and Borka even got the balls to stand up and challenge Ellen for what she did to him. Now she put the dummy over us. And the dummy has destroyed our country. And Ellen want to get away with killing Liberian people. How the woman will get away? How this woman will get away? Everything falls on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Everything, she can't escape it. Ellen Johnson is too educated, too world known, too world recognized for her to give our government to a dummy. Then she come around and tell, you see how the woman is all about herself? She gave our government to a dummy. Her children ripped every money we had in Liberia. They put everything on the dummy because the little small that were there, they just took it and went crazy and thought Ma Ellen left it for them because they're ignorant. They don't know nothing, so they finish eating all around. Then they got Ma Ellen children running our port, raising everything, evaluate everything we put in a container to send abroad so they can charge us more. So they can have the Liberians sitting there to beg us for everything we put in the container. Our country is too corrupt. And it's not because of the Liberian people. It's because of the Liberian leaders who starving our people. Now they're talking about dual citizenship. How would be dual citizens of our own country? We didn't jump out and say we're leaving Liberia because we're tired with Liberia. We wanted to come to America because of better living. We didn't say that. We didn't go to the State Department and say, look, we want to change our citizenship because you people in Liberia and we tired with you, man. We tired with you Congo people. We didn't do that. Even on a door. None of our doors say you damn native people now take our country, so we don't want no damn citizenship ticket. We go into America. We didn't do that. So how in the hell can Ellen Johnson and our children deny us our citizenship? Only dummies will sit down and argue about dual citizenship for those who are born in Liberia. You got the dummies ruling our country. Then you telling me I can't come and help because I changed my citizenship? Do you know that you were the dummy, useless fools that made me run away in the first place? When y'all kill our president, kill our leaders, destroy our country, y'all know how many people died in Liberia in 1980 for nothing? Our loyal patriots, indigenous and Congo, died protecting Toba. You know that? Y'all know how many patriot Liberians died defending the old regime? Y'all know that? Y'all don't even know about your country. That's why they did useless dummy. You better remove George Weah. I want this man removed. You don't even know your own damn country. You're sitting here in America talking about dual citizenship. How would that be dual citizenship? When we ran away from war and death and starvation and rape of our people, how the hell will we be denied our citizenship? Forced to live in exile all the time? Why dummies and criminals and nepotists and their children ruling our country and getting rich, and our people are suffering now? This is the awakening. This is the awakening. The same thing Leo Johnson telling you, I've been telling you for 50 years. That's why I've never joined any damn political party. Because I've been telling you, the people are corrupt. Our whole society needs to be overhauled. And if we don't start from the bottom, cheating this copycat and behavior, looking to foreigners as our guidance, depending on foreigners for everything, denying our own abilities, our own education, our own mental God-given fortitudes to build our country. But we're sucking up to other people because we have been so screwed up in our minds, in our lives, and in our destiny. And this is the awakening. And you will come to see when I'm gone. If you can't see it now, if you're too dumb to see it, if you're too gullible to understand, if you're still immature to grow wise, you will see it someday when I'm gone. But I'm laying the foundation for the change of my country, for the understanding that we have a grave place in this world. And we continue to fail, our world will continue to be used. Our people will continue to be killed by the thousands for no reason at all. And the wealthy will continue to use the underbellies of this society to beat us, to bomb us, to kill us, and ensure that the wealthy remain super wealthy forever. This is a plight we cannot continue to hang on to. Let me get into my last lesson. Look at what happened with Liberty Party. They put in Musa Ability, a man who has been heralded as a corrupt, greedy, racist. When I say racist, I'm talking about tribal. That's the same racism. And devilish to the Liberian society. That's why I say I can't come back to Liberian society. We have nobody to lead our society. We recircle the same rules. It doesn't matter who knows anything. Look at Darius Dillon. What Darius Dillon know? Yeah, the man's a kid. And he has been emboldened with power. So he comes out and tells all kind of bullshit too about Saul and Paul. It shows his ignorance of the Bible. All the way he praying on his knees. That's why we cannot trust Liberian leaders. Semi-educated people. People with undergraduate degrees alone cannot lead Liberia. You need world experienced people. Right now, the only help I can give to Liberia is to be an ambassador. Stay out of Liberia. You want me to work with a consulate with you? I will help you. But I can't come to lead Liberia. No. And if I find out that the government is corrupt, immature, dumb, and stupid like we are, I ain't coming home. Because what I'm working for, if everything I'm working for will go in vain? Well, everything I'm working, that's why I can't work for Liberia. I could never work in Liberia because I know we are ignorant people. We cannot take a system that is way up here and expect it to go up. No, we got to come down to all over, teach our people from the bottom, strengthen our education. Liberia ain't going nowhere, so we're rushing to be with the world for. That's what Joseph said. We are illiterate. What we're trying to catch up with the world for when our people have not learned the basics. Our society is out of school. And the more jobs we are last, another hour, another minute, another day, our population is going down with illiteracy, with impoverishment, with enslavement to other peoples. And our leaders will not come back home. Who will come home to work with George Weah? You expect me to come home to work with a man who can account for $200, $300 million already of our money in 3 years? For me to come home with a man who still want to embolden and support Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, coming and telling us who will be the next leader of Liberia? Who empowered Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? A damn mulatto woman, a damn criminal, a damn nepotist to tell us who will be our next leader. You see, they're the same dictatorship. They're the same useless stupidness that Liberia can't progress. She leave the country. She's given the presidency, but she's still holding the government with her children, enriching themselves beyond realization as our country and people die. Do Liberian political parties know anything about politics? None of them politicians. Benin not politician. LA Cummings not politician. What the other one name? Darius Dillon not politician. He just followed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf everywhere and told him her bag. He got little smarts from her. And wait a minute, Bromsky. But these people, when you give them the job, they will always go back to what they know. For peace sake, recycling criminals. They only know the people they trust, and they do not have the ability to open up the government to bring in more illiterate people because they will be challenged by the people coming home. You think Darius Dillon will stand before me and talk the shit they'll be talking in the Senate? Oh, we'll do that. No, because I'll be challenging him. I'll be asking, so what do you think we'll do with this? Why do you think this is that? Who are the people causing the problems? You got to be specific. But you got a dumb legislature. You got all of them who can't read and write. Most of them can't even speak good. Darius Dillon is the star. So when people don't read their Bibles, people don't even know what Jesus is saying or Jesus not saying. They know that fucking preacher saying there or Prince Johnson saying there that the people our Christian society is relying on. So what do we have to depend on? Nothing. Cordon satire. Aluta! Continue. My young chair, my lesson is done. 1 hour is over. I hope you got something from this lesson. Don't be copycats. Don't be copycats. Don't want to be like we are. You want to be like yourself. You want to get education so you can analyze your society, analyze other people's society. We know the white people, what they've done to our country. They're our benefactors, yes, but we got to check them and let them correct themselves too. Just how you're talking about checking we are, how the hell you will check we are when the people giving them money need to be checked? So I'm here to check my American people and tell my Liberian people, don't believe the verbal bullshit. Watch white people's action. Watch their behavior and try to study and understand the reasoning they give you for what they did. When you understand the reasoning, that means you got to put from every area of your knowledge and wisdom of white society, white people, white ideals, to understand the reasoning they give you and why. And if you're truly knowledgeable, you'll be able to discern racism, bullshit talking, bullshit acting, bullshit enslavement from reality. Aluta! Continue. I told you, Commander Galpohkpa Chesson is out. Bye-bye.